going on, Bulls fans? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman. Coming up on today's show, we got the latest around DeMar DeRozan possibly heading to Los Angeles via a sign and trade, and also the latest team to get their kind of name in the Zach LaVine sweepstakes, if you even want to call it that, the Brooklyn Nets, and why a Ben Simmons trade could make a lot of sense for both sides. But first, let's talk about the Lakers getting DeMar DeRozan here. And, there is a key point to make. If the Lakers do want to get DeMar, it's probably going to have to be on a 3-year sign-and-trade deal where he would have to only take $12.8 million. The Lakers are right up against that second apron. So they're going to need to shed the salary of probably D'Angelo Russell, for that to be the case. But also Casey Johnson, pretty tapped in Bulls beat reporter of NBC Sports Chicago. He reported that the Lakers' interest is genuine, and the Bulls are open to sign-and-trade possibilities, sources confirm. But any sign-and-trade would have to be for at least 3 years and at less annual salary than DeRozan wants. And now, what would a sign-and-trade look like between the Bulls and the Los Angeles Lakers? And first off, I think it's funny and pretty funny that DeMar DeRozan, he was originally offered a 2-year, $80 million deal by the Chicago Bulls. Again, that was all speculation. That's a pretty big-time rumor, but the fact that he was offered that and now he could be possibly signing for a 3-year MLE type of deal, kind of feel bad for DeMar, and I think he's getting undervalued so far in free agency. But I saw this trade idea floated out there on the interwebs, and it had the Bulls receiving 2 second-round picks for DeMar DeRozan. The Lakers obviously do get DeMar, but then for the Lakers to help shed salary, they would be sending D'Angelo Russell to the Detroit Pistons, then also Torrey Craig, infamous double dunk attempt. He would be heading to Detroit as well. So this is a pretty interesting deal. Not too sure if this would get it done. Also not sure if the Pistons would be interested in D'Angelo Russell, but maybe they could reroute him, similar to what the Trailblazers did with Drew Holiday last season. But hey, if the Bulls could get 2 second-round picks, I would take it because of this. Like, the Bulls are not going to get fair value in a trade. And, I think the Bulls have really set themselves up for failure for the next couple of seasons because they have pushed back this rebuild for 2.5 seasons now. And their decision not to start this rebuild last season, it will set this franchise back at least 2 years. If they would have decided this time last summer, when Zach LaVine's trade value was actually pretty high, they could have maybe scrapped together 2 first-round picks and a player, and now you're talking about Zach LaVine as us possibly attaching another first-round pick just to dump his salary. So, I think the Bulls front office, and, I'm happy that they're heading towards this youth movement. I'm happy, the direction this franchise is going, but the fact that they, put off this rebuild for so long, and now we're kind of seeing the ramifications of it, of LaVine's got no trade market. We might just let DeMar DeRozan walk in free agency and not get anything back for him, but also, even if it's a sign and trade, you're probably only going to get a second-round pick, or something along those lines. But let me know, what is your confidence level in the front office? Again, I like the direction they're heading right now. The youth movement is here. The rebuild is finally on, but this should have been started 2.5 years ago, and they've just shown a lack of self-awareness. But hey, what is your confidence level in this front office moving forward? Scale it for me, 1 through 10. All right, let's talk about Zach LaVine for Ben Simmons. Probably 2 of the most polarizing names in the NBA right now. And listen, before everybody freaks out, I don't want Ben Simmons, yada, 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 yada. I hear you. I understand. But this actually makes a whole lot more sense than a lot of people think. And, for the Bulls where they're at right now, if you could just get anything for Zach LaVine, I feel like that would be a win without attaching another first-round pick. And, hey, Ben Simmons has some top-end talent there. Obviously, the red flags around him. We'll dive into that here in a second. But this was actually thrown out there by Stephen No. As he says, the Bulls have been desperate to offload the remaining 3 years and $138 million of Zach LaVine's contract. Even attaching a first-round pick hasn't been enough to entice any teams coming in from Bobby Marks, but a LaVine-Simmons swap would cut more than $2 million in salary for the Bulls and get rid of their problem. Chicago also has a first-round pick from Portland that may not convey, it will not convey, it's lottery protected, along with its own picks in 27, 29, and 31 available to move. And listen, I'm all in on this. Like, I would love a Zach LaVine for Ben Simmons trade. However, if the Bulls have to attach a first-round pick, honestly, I would be fine with it being the Portland pick because that's not going to convey its its lottery protected, for this upcoming season. But, a LaVine for Ben Simmons trade, I like it for 4 reasons. Number one, you're going to move off Zach LaVine. we got the report. I think we talked about this 2 days ago now that apparently Rich Paul and Clutch Sports were not happy with the trade destinations that they were floating out there for Zach LaVine. And, we also heard Casey Johnson say that this relationship is completely shattered. So if you're able to move off him, just get that toxicity out of the locker room. I mean, that's the biggest bonus there. But then also this. This is one of the worst contracts in recent NBA memory. I mean, the fact that also these three numbers right here, you got to add 15% onto that. That's incredible. This turns into $49 million. Don't know the exact numbers there, but I mean, it's a terrible deal. And this player option, he's opting into it because he's not going to get anything, more than that on the open market. So number one reason why I like it, you get to move off Zach LaVine. But also number two, may sound crazy to some people, Ben Simmons has potential. It's not like Ben Simmons is a negative asset on the basketball court. Obviously, the biggest question with Simmons is him being on the basketball court. But when he's on there, he's pretty effective, man. I mean, look at the stats from his first 4 seasons. I mean, they're incredible. He's a 15-a-game guy, around 7 rebounds, 7 assists, very efficient, mainly just because his shot diet just consists of him getting to the basket. He's not really taking any jumpers, over the top. But if you could somehow tap in to this type of Ben Simmons, and I believe he's only 25 years old, so he's still got, or he's 27, so I guess he's getting up there. But only 27 years old. Maybe you scrap together, 3-4 years of a elite prime for Ben Simmons. He'll be great defensively. We know that, but also just as a cutter. He could be very valuable there, but also his style of play. I think we undervalue as NBA fans and just in the media of just the big physical forward that can put pressure on the rim and guard multiple positions. The Aaron Gordon type of players. I think guys like that have so much more value than a lot of us think. So I think if he would ever, somehow put together 70, 80 games played in regular season, I think Ben Simmons could really, turn his reputation around here in the league. And also this, no risk, no reward. I think the Bulls are in a spot right now where I'm not saying they have to be ultra aggressive and, go all in on a certain player. That's just not in their timeline right now. But in their timeline right now is a spot where you can take risk. And that's what they did with the Josh Giddey trade. They're banking on a 21-year-old who had 10 triple-doubles before turning 21. They're hoping he can, really develop into something. And then also a guy like Ben Simmons. He's a triple-double machine as well. He's got all types of potential. We know the red flags around him, but hey, maybe the Bulls just need to accept some of those red flags and see if he could ever, sandpaper a couple parts of, his game. And then maybe Ben Simmons could be a great piece for the Bulls. And also if you trade for him, maybe he ups his trade value, by playing next season. Then you could also offload him and, kind of buy low, sell high for Ben Simmons. But hey, you guys let me know. Would you trade Zach LaVine for Ben Simmons? Give me a T for trade or a P for pass down in the comments section. I'm doing this 100%, so I'll be typing my T's down below. But hey, if you guys disagree with me, let me know your thoughts as well. And also, guys, make sure you guys are subscribed here to the channel. Video coming out Sunday. I'm going to be previewing the Summer League, so super excited about that. As the Bulls actually have a pretty fun roster, which we'll also be going live for some of those Summer League games. So hit that subscribe button, lock us in, and as always, go Bulls.